Do you wanna build a snowman? That's right, guys. I am doing a tutorial on how to make Olaf after so many of you guys have requested on YouTube and Instagram for me to make him. I feel like there's a million tutorials already on YouTube on how to make Olaf, but here is my version and I hope you guys enjoy it. We're going to start off with Olaf's head, and you're going to start with a white piece of clay and you're going to roll this kind of into a diamond shape. What I'm doing is I'm rolling one end into a taper, and for the top of his head I'm also rolling that into a taper so that the center is nice and fat. And with my thumb I'm just depressing the bottom chin in, and I'm curling it up with a clay tool in order to make it look like he's smiling. And all you have to do is smooth out the rough edges and reshape the head until you're happy with it. So this is what my little head for Olaf looks like, and I'm going to move right into the branches that form his hair and his arms. So you're going to roll a brown piece of clay into a long thin snake, and you're going to cut off a piece to be his arm. And what I'm doing is rolling some parts to be thinner than the others because branches are kind of organic shaped and uneven. And I'm just cutting off smaller pieces of clay to form his fingers and the rest of his hand. If you notice, Olaf actually has 3 fingers and a thumb, so that's what I gave him, and I added an extra piece of clay in the center to form the palm of his hand. I also rolled out other pieces of clay, about 3 of them, to form him into little cane shapes to form the hair on the top of his head, and I went ahead and baked everything in the oven for about 10 minutes so that it would be a little stiff and easier to maneuver when I insert it into his head and his body. Olaf has an itty bitty orange carrot nose, so I'm taking an orange piece of clay and I'm gonna roll one side into a nice taper like a carrot. And once I'm happy with it, I'm gonna resize it to fit his actual head and just remove all the extra clay. With the help of the back of a paintbrush, I'm forming the little dent where his nose is going to be, and I'm going to go ahead and stick the little carrot nose where I think Olaf should have his nose at, and I'm going to go ahead and form sockets for his eyeballs as well. Once you're happy with the location of the eye sockets, I'm taking a white piece of clay to form his teeth, and I'm making it into a nice little rectangle and sticking it right underneath his upper lip. With the clay tool, I'm going to form little lines all across his nose to make his nose look like a realistic carrot, and I'm just putting random lines wherever I feel like it would go. With a paintbrush and some black chalk, I'm going to color the sockets of his eyes so it emphasizes the rim of his eyes. And I'm just taking some little white pieces of clay and putting them in the socket that I formed with the paintbrush and gently patting them inside. So this is what Olaf's face should look like so far. I'm going to go ahead and give him some nice little black pupils, and I'm just going to center them where I want them and flatten them out with a nice clay tool. Alright, so all that's missing is his eyebrows. I'm just going to roll a brown piece of clay into a thin snake and cut them into 2 pieces to form his eyebrows. For his body, you're going to need another white piece of clay, a smaller piece, and roll them into flat cylinders and stick them together. And of course, Olaf has cute little feet, so I'm going to take 2 smaller pieces of white clay and I'm going to stick them on the bottom of the large butt that he has. So the basic outline of Olaf's body is pretty much done. All you gotta do now is form the lumps of coals that he has down his torso and bottom. So I'm just taking some black clay, rolling them into 3 balls, and I'm going to just place them on his chest and his bottom section. Now the 3 sections of Olaf are all ready to be placed together. I'm using a wired pin to help hold everything in place. I'm going to stick it in the body first, followed by the head. Alright, so he's almost done. Now take the baked pieces of branches to form his arms and hairs out of the oven, and you're going to kind of position them where you want on his body. I kind of want Olaf to have one hand waving up, and you're just going to eyeball how long you want the arms and hairs to be, and just break off all the extra clay and stick them into his torso and the top of his head. Once you're done with this step, you can go ahead and bake your entire character in the oven for about 20 minutes at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, or whatever it is that your polymer clay instructs you to bake it at. Your personal Olaf is all done. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. For more like these, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. You can follow me on Instagram, which is flyingmio if you want, and good luck everyone!